is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I'm Alan, and we're going to have an outstanding show tonight. It's going to be fantastic. You're going to be in for a real nice treat here because we're going to do some beautiful things here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Going to have a lot of fun, and hey, it's going to be awesome. So definitely you're in for a treat. I did see that the Instagram feed is not coming through. You know, that's sometimes that happens with Instagram, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about it. We're on live on all of the other formats there. It's going to be in for a nice treat, nice Friday night. Got a lot of stuff to discuss. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and thank one of our outstanding sponsors here, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you go ahead and visit my great friend Chef G's right here in beautiful Tampa, Florida, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Come on down to FLBBQSauce.com. Again, it's FLBBQSauce.com. Get that great sauce. It's going to be fantastic. And yes, we're going to go ahead and play a lot of great songs for you tonight. The first song was by Sam Scola Songs. You're going to hear another song by Sam Scola Songs. It's a Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. A natural flavor. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Definitely do not forget to get that great sauce at flbbqsauce.com. flbbqsauce.com. You cannot go wrong with this sauce. It is fantastic. My man is a military vet. Why not support somebody who's taking great care of the community? My man got these tickets right here. He went to Super Bowl 59 from the Glazer family because of his great work with Hurricanes Helene and Hurricanes Milton. He didn't do it for the shine. He didn't do it for the tickets. When you do great deeds, sometimes things come back to you. He was able to go ahead and get those tickets, and that's fantastic. That is fantastic. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. And yes, and we're going to go ahead and continue forward. A lot of go ahead and, we're going to start the show with a bit of a somber note. Legend, unfortunately, George Foreman has passed away this week. Man, what an outstanding individual. His story is just phenomenal. It really is. I watched that movie, Big George Foreman, and I got to tell you, it just goes to show you when you're determined to do something and you have confidence and faith in yourself and you believe you can do it, anything is possible. I have another great example of that a bit later in the show. But yes, it was the man has made it success, not just in the ring, but he was a great human being, great ambassador outside of the ring as well. We know about the George Foreman grills, and that's just admirable when you have a profession like boxing and you transcend yourself into somebody who people don't just look at George Foreman as a boxer. Yes, he's a great boxer, but they look at the great pastor, the great knowledge he has, great personality, also the entrepreneurship. So he's a great man and will be lost. If you haven't seen that movie, I definitely recommend you go see Big George Foreman. It will be a very entertaining movie and you won't be disappointed. So may George Foreman rest in peace. Definitely going to be missed. So as we do here on the Alford Sports Talk show, when we have somebody from the sports community that does pass, we're going to go ahead and say, we'll go ahead and have a moment of silence, and we'll go ahead and do that right now for George Foreman. It's a moment of silence there for George Foreman. And we're going to continue on here with the Alford Sports Talk show. Definitely, we got a lot to unpack here, a lot to discuss. So the UFL season we're gonna start right there. Starting today is I'm watching it right here on the screen. The Battlehawks versus the Houston Roughnecks, and it's here. It's here. You guys have no worries. The season is here, and it's going to be an outstanding season. You know, it's game one, so you have to kind of get the kinks out, but it's going to be fantastic. I have no worries that this season going to be very entertaining. And it was I apologize in a way. I was at the season opener last year. It was not on a Friday; it was on a Saturday. This, for those who don't know, the UFL now has Friday night games, which is really cool. But I had a schedule conflict. I went to Texas actually last week to cover, as you guys probably know, the pro football. It's an outstanding event. I'm going to talk about that a bit later. But because of that, it was just very logistically because of, for me to be in Texas one week, be back here, and then back in Texas the next week. In the future, I'm working on that private jet, but more importantly, I had kids in school this week. The pro football event, FTB, worked out great because it was during spring break for me to come back and then go back out again on a Friday, which meant that the kids would have missed school. And it really couldn't have happened anyway because my daughter enjoyed a trip today with the school at Busch Gardens, and that would have had to been canceled. So logistically, you can't be in two places at one time. So I will not. They were actually anticipating for me to be to the Arlington Renegades home opener, which is tomorrow. I will not be in attendance there as well because I was in Texas last week and to come back again next week with kids in school. It's not as easy as you think. So I will not be at the home opener, but I am going to be definitely watching. And I'm actually tomorrow going to be at the All Pro Dad event. Kirk Cousins, going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be a lot of great things. And I'm going to give you guys an update on the UFL score. This one here was pretty much a no-brainer. I had the Battlehawks winning prior to the game starting. I just Battlehawks, I think they're one of the better teams in the league. I'm curious to see how the attendance is now. I just think that one of the trips, the one person that does need to show up is The Rock. I think, yes, he was there today at today's game, but today's game wasn't the Houston Roughnecks. The Battlehawks fans are really kind of losing confidence, and I feel like they're losing some motivation a bit to come out to the games. I really do feel that that's happening, and I've been feeling that towards the last season, not at the very end of the season, but actually a few games before the season was ended. If you look, the attendance was dipping a bit. A lot of fans were upset because they feel as if The Rock has not come to St. Louis to watch a game. And as the time goes on, as it's like anything, if you don't show up to something, as time goes on, it's very glaring, and the window of opportunity closes. Not only that, the excuses close too, because if you don't show up to some place and that becomes a theme, people, they just move on and they realize the reality is you don't want to come visit. That's what it is. You either don't want to come visit, A, or B, you have other things going on that are far more important than visiting. So that's the heartbeat I feel with the Battlehawks, and we'll see how that goes. But they are winning this game. Let me give you an update on the score here. And, the season is here. Another thing I wanted to give you an update on is, hey, that was a really cool, Zoom event I was able to go ahead and join in on the Zoom for Luis Perez and his book launch, The Spring King. I was really impressed how the publisher had that book launch on the Zoom, and quite a few people was there, and they walk you through on purchasing it, and it was really cool. So congratulations again. I know I said that before, but congratulations again on The Spring King, the new book by quarterback Luis Perez for the Arlington Renegades. I've actually read exactly 30% of the book yet. I'm really surprised I didn't get to like 70 or 80%. It's just that, I read some of it today. I read some of it last night. It's just that, man, I was trying to get some content out for you guys, which I did. Please check out those interviews from Arian Foster as well as Golden Tate. So, yes. Oh, yeah, the score is St. Louis 18, Houston 0. We're in the beginning of the third quarter. But, yeah, I read 30% of the book so far. I'm going to definitely finish the book by the end of this weekend. And it's definitely a great motivational book. It's just amazing how I thought it was tough just getting in spring, being in spring football. I haven't even got to that part yet. I got to the part where he just started going to college. But even that part up to that, it was just so many setbacks and things not going smoothly. And I don't want to spoil the book for you guys, so you're going to have to read the version yourself. It's available on Amazon. I ordered, just full disclosure, I ordered 2 copies. I ordered the ebook copy so I can read it, so I can have it already done by the time I see him next Wednesday. But I also ordered the hardback copy. Usually with me, I prefer to have a hardback copy, hardcover or hardback, whatever you want to call it. My publisher, when I had my book, he used to call it hardback. I always known it as a hardcover book. I usually purchase the hardcover book to get autographed just because I feel like it lasts longer. It's just a nicer book. I know it's just a few dollars more, but I usually go in spring for a hardcover book. And I did that, and that book will be here Tuesday. That's the book that I'm going to go ahead and get Luis Perez to go ahead and sign. But I already have the coming out with this book and doing his thing, and having the Spring King. The book is out. Again, there's no reason for you guys not to support him. You can get it on Amazon. Go ahead and check it out. So, the season will start tomorrow. So best wishes to the Arlington Renegades. They're playing the San Antonio Brahmas, which I did ask. Coach Stoops about them beating the Brahmas. It's always going to be a tough matchup. What I think is the Brahmas, it depends on which version of the Brahmas that show up. If they come in with that stingy defense, they come in running the ball. And the big thing is if they have success running the ball against the Arlington Renegades, which they did last year. Last year, they were pretty much just running all over them because the defense, that's where they kind of suffered a lot. The Renegades was in the run defense. If the run defense is not there, it's going to be a long day at the office. And now they got another quarterback back there who's got some mobility. So it should be really interesting to see. In order for the Arlington Renegades to win this game, they, Luis Perez and Day, those guys are going to have to get going. Canella,
He's going to have to go in. And main thing is on the defensive end, the pain train, they're going to have to stop that run. They're going to have to stop the run because they usually do have a very, very potent run offense. And if they don't stop the run, it's going to be a long day at the office. So we will see. I'm going to go with the Renegades just because I feel like they're gonna learn from their mistakes. They're going to try to get off to a good start, and we will see. But it's going to be a great season opener. You guys need to be there. I just have a feeling that Rock was there today at the Roughnecks game. I don't see why he won't be there tomorrow at the Arlington Renegades game. Houston is only a 3-hour drive away, and that's nothing for The Rock. He got that plane. He's still in the same state. So I anticipate him to be there tomorrow. You guys should get a chance to see him. Not saying that's definite, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was there tomorrow. And I definitely think Danny will be there tomorrow. So it's going to be a great, great weekend of football. It's back. The UFL. You can't go wrong with that. And another thing that you can do while you're deciding on going to the home opener for tomorrow is why don't you go ahead and get yourself a new home? That's right. Thank you, CTC Mortgage, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. If you need a home in Texas, Florida, all 50 states, guess what? Kirk McCray and CTC Mortgage can help you. That's right. CTC Mortgage can help you with all of your needs. You can go ahead and take advantage of purchasing a home, refinancing. You need help with any type of rental property, anything that you need. You want to use the equity in a home. Guess what? That man right there can help you. Go ahead and give them a call right there. Kurt McCray at 346-527-7564. Again, it's 346-527-7564. Give Kurt McCray a call. Let him know you heard about him on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Without further ado, I'm going to play another Sam Solar song. That is the CTC Mortgage song. Let's go.
CTC Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTC Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTC Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTC Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McCray is your man. CTC Mortgage Company. CTC Mortgage Company. CTC Mortgage Company.
CTCME Mortgage Company. That's right. Make sure you guys give Kurt McCray a call today, not tomorrow, today. 346
346-527-7564, 346-527-7564, or you can go ahead and visit CTCME Mortgage right there at ctcmemortgage.com. Thank you so much, CTCME Mortgage, for being an outstanding sponsor here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Let's go. And then we're going to go ahead and continue forward. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some breaking news here. I'm going to give you some breaking news. I'm going to go ahead and actually share this here on with you guys so you can see it. Let me go ahead and do it. But apparently, The Rock did not show up today for the home opener. Apparently, he had a conflict with the plane. I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys here. You can comprise your own opinion, but I'm going to show it to you. Okay, here we go.
Down into Texas to rock and roll with all the fans and the players and the coaches. And I'm just so super bummed that I can't be there. And I'm so sorry. And I want to take a moment to apologize to all of the UFL fans, our UFL universe that we continue to build, our UFL players, my players, man. I apologize to my players, apologize to the coaches, the staff, everybody. It's been a big kickoff weekend. We've been looking forward to this since our last season ended. And I'm so sorry I can't be there with you guys. Last night we had some issues with the plane. About 35 to 40 minutes into the flight, the pilot comes back to me. He gets down on one knee and he faces me face to face. And it's just me on the plane, just me and the crew. And he says, "Mr. Johnson, I'm sorry to inform you, but we cannot continue to fly over the ocean. We have a problem. We have to turn the plane around and we have to land back in Hawaii. You have my word. I will land you back safely on the island." And I so appreciate his demeanor. His name is Captain David. I appreciate his demeanor in that moment. And he explained to me what happened. And he said it was a hydraulics issue with overheating. And he said there are some issues that we could work out as we're in the air. And then there's some that we're not going to take a chance, especially over the ocean. And especially when the computer of the airplane is saying, don't fly anymore over the ocean. You got to get back to land. So I so appreciate the crew. I appreciate them getting us back to land safely. Appreciate God, the universe. I took this as a sign from God and the universe. And I wish, though, I was there in Houston, Texas. And I got to tell you guys this. So, you know how there's turbulence. We've all experienced turbulence on airplanes. And some of us, I'm sure, like me, like you guys, have experienced some really fucking crazy turbulence where you're like, holy shit, drinks are flying, luggage is flying, everything's going in. And you're like, you can't help but think it's human nature. Like, man, is this it? Is this how I check out? But when the pilot comes out and he has a conversation with you and he gets down on one knee and then he goes back to the cockpit, the flight attendant, Corinne, she was amazing. She goes, "Mr. Johnson, can I get you anything?" I said, "You can give me a drink. Terramana, make it a double." And she did. So when you're back there alone with just your drink and you're thinking about this and you got everything crossed, hoping you make it back safely, you start to realize really quickly of the shit that's really important in life. And then you realize the shit that doesn't matter that you've been thinking about and worrying about. Anyway, I had one of those moments last night. Bottom line is, I'm grateful to be back on ground, grateful to be back home in Hawaii. Super bummed I can't be there in Texas. To all the UFL players, coaches, but especially my players, you put your fingers in that dirt, man. You're on the grind. Take advantage of this opportunity in the UFL this spring. Grab this opportunity by the throat. To all my UFL players, grab this opportunity by the throat. Do not let it go. I want to see you kick ass. I want to see you show up. I want to see you win this spring season. And then I want to see you go on to the NFL this fall. And I want to see you kick ass in the league this fall too as well. So let's have a great opening season, opening kickoff. The game's already started, live on Fox. Games are live on ESPN this weekend too as well. I love you guys. Go UFL. Aloha. Happy
All right, so there you go. Breaking news. I said that he was going to be at the game, and then I don't know how I saw that on my feed, but there you go. The Rock. Excuse the language. Sorry about that. But yes, he did not show up, as you've seen there, for tonight's game. And I would just say like this, I wouldn't have risked it either. I wouldn't have risked it. I wouldn't have risked it either. You have the pilot telling you, "Hey, we got to turn around. It's not worth it. You got to turn around. It's not worth it." And I can tell you from experience, the crazy thing is when I had to come back from my flight, I missed the flight on the way back, and I had to stay in Texas longer than I wanted to. Make a long story short, I'm this close to telling you the name of the airline, but I'm not going to do it. Needless to say, it's a horrible airline. I don't have a private jet like my man Dwayne Johnson. God bless him for that. But one thing that my wife did say that said it was not meant for you to be on that plane. Don't force it. And that kind of resonated with me. When it comes to flights, when it comes to getting from one destination to another, you can push it to a certain extent, but I think you should not push it too far because that could be a sign of God telling you don't get on the flight for whatever reason. I wish that would have happened with, certain people, may she rest in peace, Aaliyah. We know about, the plane crash there, but yes, if you feel, and the door closed, and in my mind, I saw that incident where there was not just me missed the flight, the person next to me, but I seen a clip where somebody was just like banging on the door when the doors closed, and they were trying to get on there, and then they was I don't know how they did it. They found an emergency exit to go on the runway. Make a long story short, they passed away because of them jumping in the plane, literally in the where the propellers are. And I'm like, no, I want to get on the plane. I want to get back. I had a great time in Texas, but there was a couple of bumps in the road. I won't go into it. That happened in Texas. Nothing wrong with the event that I was there for. That was fantastic, exceptional. But there was a couple of things that happened in Texas that was not related to that kind of put a bump in the road a little bit on the trip. Somebody vandalized the rental car that I had. I can't make this stuff up. But if it's not meant for you to get on a plane, just don't do it. Just don't do it. And I wouldn't have risked it either. I did the right choice, come back, and yeah. So he's in Hawaii. So that pretty much answered the question. Remember, I was telling you a little bit while ago, I think he's going to probably be Friday night's game as well as Saturday. Well, they're both going to be scratched out because he's still in Hawaii. I doubt he'll going to be flying out there again. But yes, glad that everything worked out okay with The Rock and that he's safe and sound. And yep, maybe in the future he'll come up to a St. Louis Battlehawks game in St. Louis. But this one you can't put on him. Prior to that, that's another story. But yeah. So that's unfortunate. I got breaking news that way that he wasn't in the game. I did see where he did put that up on Wednesday, I believe was that he was going to be at the game Friday. But yeah, and I wouldn't have risked it either. So I wouldn't have risked it either, I should say. But yes, your health is your wealth. And yes, but I'm glad I did see that and I was able to break that news to you guys that, yeah, he did not appear at the game. So at least you got that right there. And again, apologize for the profanity. Congratulations to the UFL starting off the season. I'll give you guys one more update on the score here. But it's, spring football is officially in effect. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and please support. Get the Spring King.
Great book. I've got 30% of it done. I'm going to finish that book before the weekend's out. So I'm seeing here 18-0 St. Louis Battlehawks. Middle is 5 minutes and 37 seconds in the third quarter. So unless the Roughnecks do something quick, and the Battlehawks, they have the ball past the midline, past the midfield, 2nd and 6. So yeah, they need to do something quick over there. So props to UFL kicking off the season. And let me, in fact, talk about that, the Pro FTB. And yeah, that was, man, the Pro FTB. It's just a outstanding event. You know what I've learned about the Pro and covering it. I was fortunate enough to cover the first event, which is the Pro Cup. This was Pro FTB. For those who don't know, Pro FTB is a golf event that has 48 NFL players and current, former, and legends. So you had a mix of everything there. You had players that just won the Super Bowl. I, unfortunately, wasn't able to interview any of those current players, but I did interview a ton of the legends and former players. And what I've taken away from this, not only is it a fun, competitive environment, but by interviewing, several of the guys, I've learned that the players, they need it. They need this event just as much as it is fun for them to golf and have a great time on the golf course, but be competitive. They need it for their soul and their well-being. They need it for their mental health. Like, it's very difficult for you to be in a sport. You had a dream of being a football player. You actually surpassed that dream, and you were on the field on an NFL platform, which some of the guys in UFL, some of them have NFL experiences, but a lot of them don't. And they were able to go ahead and make it to the NFL, play in the NFL, have that camaraderie in the locker room. And I definitely took away the fact that the Pro needs to continue because the guys love it. They love the first class treatment. They feel like they're back in the NFL again, but they are playing golf. But they do have that. They love that camaraderie, that competitiveness. They love the talking trash again and the sense of purpose, and the fellowship. So, props to them, to everybody who participated, players, props to the organizers, props to the fans, security, props to everyone who participated, who made the event fantastic. And I'm still putting out some of the interviews. I'm not going to spoil who was next, but I still got quite a few interviews to put up. Some people have asked me as far as, the interviews, hey, I don't want to spam you guys and just put up boom, 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 boom. I try to limit it to 2 or 3 a day. Not only that, I usually put up a write-up and the reason why the interview is important and relevant. If I just post up the interview without putting that, you may not tag somebody who you should. And not only that, it gives some context to why this person got interviewed and what's really important that they said. One things that are really footnotes that you really should take home from. There was a lot of great nuggets that guys said, and I thank them all for taking time out and doing the interviews, and props to all of them. And yeah, it's a great fellowship. It really is. So props to the Pro for coming up with the idea. Props to them to implementing it. Great thing is it's going to continue, and it should continue, and continue support. So we have a special guest here coming in on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me make sure that He's got everything squared away. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Hey, how you doing?
All
How
right.
you- Everything's good with you?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad you could join us here. This is Lou. For those who don't know, the great Lou. Appreciate you. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for joining us again on the Alford Sports Talk Show. You're the man. So, what are your thoughts on the UFL kickoff?
Well, I've only seen little, glimpses of it because I'm concentrating on the tournament right now. Um, was touch and go for Michigan State for a little while because they were trailing towards the end of the first half, but Michigan came on strong and they beat Ole Miss. And I know some people in up that area are very happy right now. Otherwise, my hide would be in a lot of trouble. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, is she a big Ole Miss fan?
No, he's a Michigan State. He's a Michigan fan at Michigan
Okay.
State because he lives in that area. So if they didn't win, my hide would be in a lot of trouble.
All right. So,
Yeah. So my reputation is saved.
yes, and man, and we did have a moment of silence for George Foreman. Any great words
Yes.
you have about George Foreman?
One of the great fighters of all time. Ranks up right there with Muhammad Ali, who was of course my favorite. But I give George where his due. It's hard to believe though he was more famous for a fight that he didn't win. Considering all the fights he has won, but more famous for the fight he didn't win against Ali.
Yes,
That's not becoming famous for losing. Yeah.
yeah. Zaire Boombaya.
Maybe 70,
Man,
74. Yeah.
yeah.
Of course, I more remember for his his second go around because I was kind of young though when he was in his prime. But I caught glimpses more of his second outing because at the time when you're like when most athletes are after say 35, they usually call it quits. But for some strange reason, I think Foreman was trying to promote senior citizen boxing for those over the age of 40. Oh boy, and made it into a success. So I caught Foreman in his later years. When they had the fights on HBO and whatnot. Yeah, hey, for a guy past his prime, he still got it.
George Foreman always has it, man. That
Yeah,
guy, he's got that powerful punch. He's got the deceptive uppercut.
yeah,
And George Foreman grill, it was sad. It
yeah.
really was a sad day.
It was.
The thing that he's got great, an awesome personality.
I mean, for me, like I said, for me, Ali was more sad because that's the one that in my era that we all idolized, because he was a hero to the young kids, especially young boys, especially my age. So we all were looking up to him. Foreman was before Ali, so that was like our first great boxing hero. But then we saw Foreman in the later years, like, hey, you still got it.
He still got it. That's right. He did. So rest in peace.
And then asked my sons George, 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 and George, and my daughter Georgette. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, we'll skip that. But
Well, you guys got to see that movie, the Big George Foreman. If you haven't seen it, I did see that movie.
yeah,
Not recently. I saw it when it first came out. Check it out. Great watch.
well, actually, there's another one with Foreman. The We Were Kings movie that depicted one of the famous fights of his career.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, when We Were Kings.
Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, I think
And
depicted the Foreman Ali fight.
so what's the score in your tournament now?
Well, like 98% of all the population, the bracket is busted, but all the one seeds are still all the one seeds are still in. I mean that doesn't happen very often. But I think the biggest letdown was St. John's losing to Arkansas. But when you go against two coaching legends, something's gonna go down, and it's not gonna be pretty. So I mean, a normal number 10 seed, no, I wouldn't give much of a chance. But hey, you got John Calipari on one side, and on the other you got the other. So it was about the coaching titans and to see what the could throw in the last minute heroics. So Patino, I mean, he brought St. John's back from the dead, because they haven't been that what they were back in the '80s. This was, I think, their ultimate shot, to make a statement, proving that the Big East, is powerful again after UConn's two-time run. I was not surprised though by UConn's loss. I mean, this year they were kind of stagnant, especially on their offense. They just didn't have it. If they were going to get it, which they did, I didn't think they were going to get past the second round. This was not the same UConn team that won the last 2 years. I mean, they held up their own against Florida, which was, a decent game, 77-75. But I think I speak for most UConn fans. This was not going to be their year. They were not going to have a three-peat.
Yeah, I did see that game. When you got two Hall of Fame coaches, you're right. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
And Rick Pitino, he did his best, but I think it was kind of like that clip that you saw. What ended up happening was the team just didn't have that extra grit, and that makes a difference. So
And
anything could happen.
It
was a competitive game, very competitive, but at the end, Arkansas has played better.
When you lose a lot of players, though, that can affect it too. I mean, UConn did lose a lot of players this past year, and I think that made a difference as well because you're not. It's different in the NBA where you have the same players for longer than say 2 or 3 years, unless you can trade, of course. But most of them do stick around. They're able to keep the consistency. With college, is a lot different. Some players only play 1 year, which is ridiculous. Then some 2 years, but because nobody really plays 4 years anymore, except for a very small few, and that's what kind of ruins college basketball. My thing is that what's going to happen, with Duke's star player, which I don't think he's ready to go to the pros yet. After the injury and whatnot, I think he needs to stay at least 1 more year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
agree.
because he looks like he's going to be the next big star in college basketball, and I don't think that he should rush to the pros to be drafted.
Yeah, don't rush to the pros and make sure you're
No,
ready.
you should. You shouldn't. You're a star in college, but if you go to the pros right away, you might have a wake up call.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between college and pros.
There is. You can't rush it. I mean, Caitlin stayed all 4 years, at Iowa, and look what she became. I mean, and she's the darling of WME basketball, probably basketball period. And Paige Buchers or Beckers, however you say the name, from UConn. I've been watching her since her career started, and she's great. I mean, she's like the second or third of all, and but her time was right. She's been there all 4 years, and no doubt she will make them 1 draft pick, and she's ready. She is ready to go to WNBA Pro. I think Connecticut might take her. I'm hoping she comes over to our side, but well, I would like to see it happen. I doubt it. But the top player in the women's game, she's out with an ACL, and oh boy, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. So, update on the score: UFL is 24-0. 24-0. St. Louis Battlehawks.
Is having some trouble though.
Beginning of the fourth quarter.
I heard UFL is a bit of a problem.
Oh yes. What are you getting at?
Well, I hate sounding like a downer, but it might be calling a player strike.
Well, that's the good thing about today's game. The fact that today they did play that I think the players were I don't think the players are, for some reason, I don't think they're as happy as I thought they would be with this league. But the fact that they played today, I think they're putting it behind them. At the end of the day, the players love playing football and they want to play.
Yes.
But I do think when the games are over, I do think there's some resentment there from what I feel, because I thought this was going to go away and it didn't.
No.
But the fact that they played today, was a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, but will that continue throughout the season, though? That's the thing.
We have to see. We have to see. And let's see how things get through this weekend. And then
Yeah.
I think you'll know a lot of answers from there. Because I think if the players do play this weekend and they're still unhappy, I think you're going to hear more grumblings the next week.
This could kill the league right here. If they go on strike, this could kill the league right away.
No, I agree. I agree. I completely agree with you on that. In fact, I talked about that before it got to this point that I usually agree with the players on most disputes, but this one here, I actually don't agree with the players on this one because look,
I don't either.
Okay, you're not in the NFL. With all due respect, you're not in the NFL. This is a league that is year 2. The first year, I know Danny's been around for 3 years, the XFL, the UFL league year 1, and now 3. You really can't count the XFL year because they merged in her second year. So this is the second year of the UFL. You cannot go by the first year. The league has not made a profit yet. They're losing money. They lost money the first year. They ran the league at a loss. You know, this is an investment they're making that they hope will turn around and pay dividends 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now. But right now, you're running the league at a loss. And
well, that's not too surprising because a lot of those other leagues, the spring leagues, they ran on in the hole in a negative way. I mean, because the USFL lost money, the AAF, and that ridiculously back in 2018, whatever it was, they had no money either. I mean, and they folded mid-season in the first year, so that was the ultimate dud. These spring leagues, run on empty right from the start, and they don't recover.
Right, and I agree. And even the rumblings, even if the worst thing you could do is actually strike, but just the rumblings are not a good thing because you're trying to bank. I love what someone said. I got to give this quote to a fan.
Yes.
The players, quote unquote, the players are trying to bankrupt a broke league. That's what they said.
Already broke.
I wouldn't go as far as saying broke, like the league is broke, but you're trying to bankrupt a league that hasn't made money yet.
Yeah.
So, yes. And I checked into it. You're getting paid a stipend, plus you're getting paid $55,000 a year for the time you're playing, which is 10 weeks, which is actually very good. They don't get paid nowhere near that much money in AFL. AF1, I'm sorry, now it's called AF1, arena football.
Right.
And this is not the type of job, Lou, where you're going to be there 5, 10, 15, 20 years and get a pension and ask for a pay increase after year 3 or 4 or 5. No, this is a chance for you to maybe 2 what you might get if you sign someone to go to the NFL. That's it. That's all. That's it. If you don't get signed within the first 2 years, you can still play for fun. You can still be competitive, but you better be looking and dusting off your resume in the meantime.
Yes.
So I think the players, I don't agree with the players on this one. I really don't. I looked at every single angle and I just don't. Like, you go out there, showcase what you got, and hope that somebody signs you to the next level. After 2 years, even if you play the 3rd year, you got to start looking to fill out applications just like everybody else.
Exactly.
Because I know everybody wants to play in the NFL, but not everybody gets to the NFL.
No.
And this is not the NFL, fellas. This is not the NFL. The NFL it's not even night and day. The NFL, when the Super Bowl comes in town, everybody, I mean, the whole city, everybody's on board.
Yes.
Guys, it's not the NFL, man. I know
it never will be.
And it won't be. It's not the NFL. It's not. It's not the NFL. I know you got nice looking uniforms. I know you feel a little nice because you made it to the team, but this is not the NFL.
No.
NFL, you have a press conference or media conference to ask a question. There's literally 170 media outlets worldwide. It's ridiculous. Yes. It's not the NFL, guys. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
And neither was the AAF or the original USFL or any of the other spring leagues. They were never the NFL. I mean, the USFL, was competitive. They had future stars. Some of them did make it to the NFL, but this is not the same UFL as it was back 40 years ago. This is not the same brand.
Now, if this happened, like say 5, 6, 7 years down the road, and the league has been making money, yes, I would agree with you. Maybe you should deserve some profit sharing or something. But the league ran at a loss last year. And yes, it's trending in the right direction. They have very good viewership, meaning people watching the game, but they don't have as many people going to the game. Yes, There's a couple of markets, the Battlehawks, and another market that does pretty good. But even there, the attendance started dropping towards the end of the season. Yeah. So, no, it's not the right time for you to be asking for money. Year 2, come on, man. I know everybody thinks The Rock got mad money, but I think truth be told, I think he's picked up the pace on his wrestling because of the first year of this league losing money.
Yeah. I mean, it's opening night, but I don't think anybody's even really noticing.
Yeah, I mean, it's opening night on a Friday night, and I noticed they haven't been panning to the stadium like the fans. That's not somebody was on the field and I could hear them. Lou. You couldn't hear one person on the field, a fan in this field, like say, come on, let's go, such in the NFL. So that's telling me that it's pretty bare. It's pretty bare.
Yeah.
I heard it comes on, hey, go get him, Lou. Like they were like, you could hear them. You would not hear that in the NFL.
No, you can hear a pin drop in the UFL game.
Oh I mean, come on, fellas. This is
I think you hear 2 pins drop.
Again, with all due respect, fellas, this is not the NFL.
You're lucky.
I know it sounds very similar. UFL, NFL, you can get them mixed up and confused. It's not the NFL. It's not. The league ran at a loss last year. Do the research yourself. I've covered the league since the XFL. It's not the NFL.
No.
Now, I'll just say this one last thing. Fans should care. There's a lot of great, passionate guys who want to make it. There's a lot of great stories, but it's still not the NFL.
No.
It's not. I mean, at least you got one thing that did happen. Lou is not taking as many shots on the UFL, so that's a win right there.
Not yet.
He's not even take as many shots.
Maybe towards midseason, if they even last through midseason, because if they do strike, this league I think is pretty much over.
You do a strike, mark my words. I agree with Lou. This UFL, you might as well just start packing up your uniform.
Put that nail in the coffin.
Just sign some memorabilia that you got in the locker and try to put it on eBay because it's over. It's a wrap. You do a labor strike, it's over. You bankrupt your own opportunity, and you may have bankrupt your kid's opportunity because you never know. You bankrupt maybe a friend's opportunity or a kid out of college or somebody who didn't get picked up. You just basically made it about you and killed the opportunity.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys want to do, go right ahead. But I'm telling you right now, as much as I love the players, I don't agree with them on this one. I just don't. I can't. You can't get me to jump on that bandwagon. I
think in this case that you might stand for eulogy. Oh boy. Okay.
Yes, eulogy. It'll be like, and then watch. You'll be like, let me tell you the players right now. You'll be feeling yourself feeling good. Oh, we flexed our ego. We flexed our muscle.
Yes.
You give it about a year or two and you're sitting at home filling an application because the UFL is no longer in business, you're going to start thinking, maybe I should have not done that. Don't trade pennies for dollars. That's what you're doing. You're trading
How
pennies.
stupid can you be?
Yeah, you potentially because you don't know in life. Read the Spring King, Luis Perez book. One thing that I took away from that book already, just reading 30% of it, and I am going to finish it by this weekend, is in life, if you keep going after a dream, you never know. I mean, you never know. Meaning, you might be that one or two cases that does get signed out of this league to the NFL. Jake Bates, Audrey, you might be that guy. I mean, I know the odds are against you, and I get all that. But 0%, 0.001% is better than 0%. You might be that guy. So don't kill that one opportunity you have, that one lightning in a bottle to make it. Don't kill it. Don't kill it.
No.
For what? Even if they said, okay, we're going to give you a 10% raise. If you're making $55,000 a year, that's pennies on a dollar, man. You're going to get what, $75 more in your check? It's not worth it.
It's not worth No.
No, even if it's $100 more, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. You're not there to get a pension. You're not there to be there 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's not that type of league. It's not that type of opportunity. You're there to showcase for a year or two to somebody who might sign you. That's it. That's it.
And
don't get it
lucky
twisted.
if you do.
And you should be kissing the ground that Danny Garcia is walking on. Because if it wasn't for her, this league probably would have already folded. I'm telling you right now. See for yourself. Look around for yourself at the league.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, one place that is not going to fold, that's the Allen Alford Sports Talk show and that man show right there. Tell them what you got going cooking on Saturday.
All right. Well, first, of course, we'll carry on with the Elite Eight, which will be tomorrow with the men's tournament. The women will wrap up the first round of 16 as they're going to be bound to 12 tomorrow. First opening weekend of Major League Baseball, the official start of the season, not counting the Dodgers and Cubs, although you could if you want to. NBA, we're going to talk some NFL because there's a lot of changes going on. They're going to be having the owners and general managers meeting this week coming up to see if they can make these changes. Some make sense, some might not. We got some NBA. Yeah, we'll also talk the ULG Football League. I mean the UFL. Oh boy, there we go. Sorry.
Don't strike, fellas.
Yeah. You and UFC, WWE, which Fox may have to replace it with if this doesn't go through. Oh boy. Also, of course, your thoughts and comments, which are always welcome. This week in sports history, the ridiculous sign of the week. I think I just mentioned it. Okay. The feel good story of the week, and it's that time of the month where you do the best and worst of the month that happened. And I think I got a clear winner of what the worst moment of the week was, especially for those of you. No, I can't give it away. I can't do that. You'll have to find out. You'll find it tomorrow. I do not play spoiler here, but on this show. So if you got time between 4 and 6 tomorrow, it's Eastern time, by the way. Number is 512-543 UFL. No, 4662. Oh boy. 512-543-4662 as the actual number. And remember, we go by East Coast time. So if you're calling from the West, that's 1 o'clock for you. If you're calling from the in the Central Time Zone, like in Kansas or Arkansas or Chicago, it's 3 o'clock for you. In the Denver area, it's 2 o'clock. In Budapest, I forget where. But we go all over the place, So, if you're calling from Europe, great. If you're calling from Australia, fine. The more the merrier. But in the U.S., it's 4 p.m. here and to track 1 hour everywhere else. Oh, boy.
There you go. 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. That is Lou, the Enhanced Sports Show. You can go ahead and go to YouTube, type in Enhanced Sports Show. Saturday between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. You're going to get a chance to.
And if you had trouble the first time, try again, because I know that last week some people had trouble getting in. You might have to watch with the 2 6s in the middle too, because I think people start they get that little lost in that somewhere. So if you can't get to the first one, try again because eventually it will go through.
Persistence pays off. There you go.
Yes.
512-543-4662.
And remember, like and share the page as well.
Always a pleasure, Lou. You the man. I tremendously
Thanks.
appreciate you, Lou.
Thanks,
Always a
no, it's
pleasure.
a pleasure. Just it's now as now approaching almost a milestone because I'm my 8th year here. Just past the anniversary of when I first started coming on nationally. It's 9 years now, thanks to some very special people. My mentors Betty Cantley and Kevin Dixon, who got me started nationally, and 9 years now with the networks, and it's still going. So it's 12. It's 12 years overall. Back to my roots. Never forget your roots, folks. So it's been a great long ride, and the ride's not over.
That's right. Just getting started, baby. That's right. Appreciate you, Lou. Have a fantastic weekend.
Not bad for a guy who's 55, right?
There you go.
Oops.
All right. Take it
That
easy.
for the record, please.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend.
This program's been in for broadcasting for your own good.
All right. Over now. That's Lou. So I appreciate Lou. 512-543-4662. 512-543-4662. Give him a call tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. He's going to be able to entertain you. Thank you, Lou. So, yes, one thing that you can always count on if you need to go ahead and do some travel, one person that will always come through is none other than Pushpin Adventures. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. If you need help with a destination wedding, group travel, foreign, domestic, you want to go ahead and take care of a corporate event, maybe you want to travel with the whole office, you want to do something like a chairman's club. I've been to quite a few of those. That is something where you need some heavy hitters that can take care of you. Pushpin Adventures can do that. Give them a call today. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures. That number right there, give or call or text to Monique, 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006. We're going to play another Sam Scola songs. Fantastic song. It is the Pushpin Adventure song. Let's go.
Travel on a cruise with Pushpin Adventures. Take a vacation with Pushpin Adventures. Go around the world with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Make a reservation with Pushpin Adventures. The best value deal with Pushpin Adventures. Plan a getaway with Pushpin Adventures. Escaping today with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures.
Pushpin Adventures. Give them a call today. Make that dream a reality. Go ahead and give Monique a call or text 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006, or you can go ahead and visit pushpinadventures.com. Pushpinadventures.com. Thank you so much for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. We tremendously appreciate you. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And yes, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and talk a bit about, before I get into the baseball, let me go ahead and talk now about the LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith saga that has been going on. Let me go ahead and break this down for you. Let me just go ahead and put this up here first. Let me just go ahead and put this up here first. So for those who don't know, what ended up happening was LeBron James approached Stephen A. Smith courtside past the third quarter during a timeout, got in Stephen A. Smith's face, and he basically was letting him know he didn't appreciate some of the criticism that he was basically giving his son, Bronny James, about him making it to the league. Letting him know in so many choice words, he didn't appreciate it. And it was kind of a surprise to Stephen A. Smith right there on the court side. He didn't say anything, but as you know, Stephen A. Smith had a lot to say as a retort. And what ended up also happening is afterwards, LeBron James, a few days after, went on the Pat McAfee show, and he aired some more dirty laundry, basically not saying anything positive about Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith responded again on that. And also he responded not only on his own show, but he also responded on First Take. What happened on First Take was Stephen A. Smith said it was kind of messed up that LeBron James did not show to Kobe's memorial. He found out later on, he apologized for that. He did. LeBron James did indeed show up for the memorial. Let me go back to what I told you guys from the get-go about this story. And I'm going to be real with you. The reason, and you can't deny it, the reason why LeBron James got in front of Stephen A. Smith's face and said what he said was because of this. Black on black or brown on brown crime. I said it before, and I'll say it again. There was a bunch of white reporters that used the word nepotism to nauseam. I did not even know what that word meant. Nepotism. White reporters who basically said Bronny James did not deserve to be in the NBA. He did not deserve to get this pick and to be where he's at. And they kept repeating the same thing. So what do you do when you don't know what a word means? You go to Google. And that's exactly what I did. Checked and said what nepotism means. Basically, nepotism, for those who don't know, is basically a fancy word of using favoritism, except it's not favoritism like your friends or colleagues. It's family favoritism. It's basically what it is. It's like me. I have a son who wants to get a position. I have good standing with the bosses. I'm in cool. The bosses go ahead and hire my son versus hiring somebody on the outside who is probably far more qualified and then some. In today's day and age, the way the market is, where there's so much abundance of people who need work, more than likely, if you're corporate America, yeah, there's going to be somebody with a more impressive resume. But instead of the impressive resume getting it, it's my son, my daughter. And we see this in business all day long. It's not what you know, it's who you know. But the white reporters kept saying the word nepotism, and I checked into it, seen what it meant. And yes, the fact remains nobody was wrong. Stephen A. Smith and the white reporters were not wrong. The reason Bronny James got that position was because LeBron James, his dad, lobbied to get him that position. Number one, that's how he got it, because his dad positioned his son to get it, to get the homie hookup, as you would say, and he got the position. Okay, this is a very different circumstance. See, this is where LeBron James' ego came into play. He thought, because he wanted to be the first to do it, to have his son play in the NBA, and he'd be on the court with his son. That was actually a dream that more his dad wanted than his son wanted. And he did say that a few times prior to, Bronny James getting to the point of being drafted. When he was younger, when he was prior to, he did say, I'm not going to leave until my son gets of age and we play on the same team. He thought in his ego that he was going to get the same treatment as Ken Griffey Jr., his son. And wrong. Ken Griffey Jr.'s son was a phenom. Ken Griffey Jr. was a phenom. We all knew he was going to set the world on fire when he came into, not even so much even before he came into the league. When he was playing in the minors, playing in high school, you could clearly see the talent. The guy was dominating. It was just a matter of time. And guess what? He should have been a unanimous Hall of Famer. By 2 or 3 votes, he didn't get it, which was wrong. He should have been unanimous. His son became Hall of Famer. And it didn't surprise me, and it didn't surprise most people, because his son, Ken Griffey Jr., was that nice. Ken Griffey Jr. played his dad. There is no doubt that Ken Griffey Jr. can play anywhere when it comes to baseball. People don't think the same when it comes to Bronny. That's just a fact. They just don't look at it. So he got the homie hookup, but now that your son got the homie hookup, you're mad because people are not respecting his game. Come on, man. That's like me hooking my son or daughter up. They get a position that we know 100 plus other applicants was stronger, didn't get it. And then I'm mad because you guys should be given respect that he got the position through his own work. In corporate America, some people don't get the respect of getting a position because even though there was no nepotism, they don't feel as if the person who got the position was really the strongest candidate or the best for the job. And now it's a situation where Bronny was quite a few steps behind. So like I told you guys on this show, the reason why LeBron James did what he did is because of this. He see another brother who's successful and he wanted to bully him. That's what he did. Let me kick this brother down. I deal with the same thing. Been doing it in corporate America, doing it in this business too. Some is more overt, like some are more in your face, and some are a lot more subtle. You'll notice it, but it's very subtle. The reason why LeBron James did what he did because of black on black crime. Here's another way for me to hate on a brother, because I thought Stephen A. Smith was actually not as vocal about it as most of the other reporters were. They were going in on it as if their son or their friend was next in line after Bronny. They were going in. Stephen A. actually really just said the obvious. Yeah, he's not ready yet. So he did it because he's a brother and he wanted to bully him. And I agree with Stephen A. Smith on a lot of things because, hey, Stephen A. Smith actually brought up a good argument. When you see LeBron doing what he did, you could see him look back at the camera. He didn't look back at Stephen A. Smith, meaning if I got into your face and said what I said, I would normally look back at you while I'm walking away to give you that last look like, yeah, man, you did me dirty. He didn't look at Stephen A. Smith. He looked at the camera, and he looked at the camera because he wanted to make sure it was being caught on film, because he wanted to bully him and he wanted people to see him bully him. It was a Bush League move what LeBron James did. And I'm going to go on record and saying it. I never thought and never probably will think as the days go on that LeBron is the GOAT. And the reason why I don't think he's the GOAT is because of this baby immature behavior that he puts on. You know, he wants you to think he's a GOAT, but he's a flop. He flops Come on, man. You're 270 pounds. If somebody throws an elbow up high, you're going to react like that on every other play? He's Mr. LaFlop. So you're not the GOAT, okay? You lost to Dirk Nowitzki. He's got a statue outside the front because of you. You should have won that series. You didn't play well in a lot of final series. You have a losing record in the finals, not even a winning record. I don't even say you have to be perfect. You went there 9 times. 6 out of 9 would be okay. You got 4 out of 9. How could you be the GOAT when you lost more finals than you won? These are facts. This is not personal. This is not hating on a brother. This is what it is. Then you flop all the time. You complain all the time. You try to bush league bully people all the time. This was black on black crime. That's why he did what he did. I don't care what anyone says. I've been in the business. I've been in corporate America for 30 plus years. LeBron James did what he did to Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith is very successful at what he does, and he's a successful black man. And here was another successful black man trying to take down another successful black man. And it was on LeBron, not on Stephen A. Smith. That's why he wanted to make sure the cameras was looking at him and caught him on camera. He did a Bush League move. So he did that move. Then he went on Pat McAfee's show. Why did he go on Pat McAfee's show? Again, because of this. Because he was going to give the ratings to the white guy, not the black guy. And truth be told, Stephen A. Smith did say, even before that incident, I was willing to come on his show. But a brother's not going to help another brother. Of course not. He's going to help out Pat McAfee. So he went on Pat McAfee and he made himself look like more ignorant, to be honest with you. LeBron James made himself look more ignorant to me than anything. He made himself look like, quote unquote, a dumb jock. That's what he made himself look like. You're cursing, using profanity. You didn't articulate an argument to me that was really, really good. You can't just say, I came there as my dad. Look, if I had to interview Bronny James, I would not go through LeBron James to ask him. I would ask Bronny James, Bronny, would you like to do an interview with me? I wouldn't ask the dad because he's over 20 years old. He's in professional sports. I would ask the dad. I'm sorry. I would ask Bronny. I would ask him directly. How do I know this? Because I've had parents who wanted me to expose their kid, who wanted me to interview their kid, but I would always ask the person I'm interviewing. I would never ask someone else, you know what I'm saying, like the dad or something, unless it was a minor in the case. If it was a minor, that's something different. I probably would ask the parent or whoever, you know, the person in charge. But Bronny James, I would ask him. Not ask the dad, because you're a professional athlete. Criticism comes with professional athletes. Some are worse than others. But I don't see anything Stephen A. Smith said that was different than anybody else. Everybody's opinion was that Bronny got the homie hookup, and he did get the homie hookup. It's a fact. So what do you do when you're Bronny James? You got to play. And which he's been balling out recently, but you got to play to get past that stigma. You got to ball out on the court. And then once you start balling out on the court and start showing it for some time, people will stop talking about you don't deserve to be here. But they're not going to give you that respect when you haven't earned it. You haven't earned it. Ken Griffey Jr., we all knew because the dude was nice. We all could see the guy was a phenom. And what? 20 plus years later, first ballot Hall of Famer, should have been unanimous, but he didn't get 2 or 3 votes. Look, LeBron James came across to me as being very ignorant. He came across to me as being a bully. And yes, he did come across to me as somebody who's hating on somebody else because he's black. That's what it is. Passive aggressiveness, meaning you hate on somebody who's black, but you want to portray that you're there for the black people, which is BS. You know, he was kind of crapping on Michael Jordan in a way. Like, hey, man, you know, people thought I was, you know, I signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. The way he said it, like, yeah, right. I signed because they gave me $90 million. Okay. You know, like, to me, but you're making it sound like, hey, why would you think that I signed because of Michael Jordan? Well, you wear his jersey because of it. I don't think it's so far-fetched. And then just like you're trying to like put down Michael Jordan at the same token. Look, LeBron James, with all due respect, my man is playing great football in his age. Football, great basketball in his age, and he's doing big things at his age. But I still don't consider him the GOAT, and most people don't consider him the GOAT. They just don't. To me, this immature, crappy behavior, bullying. You're 270 pounds, man. Like, come on. Like, you don't have to flop on every single play. Give me a break. Now, I said LeBron's part. On Stephen A's part, you went too far with it. Like, I agree with Stephen A. Smith when he said with his rebuttal and what he said on his show. But I think on first take, you should have said something real short, kept it within 5-10 minutes, 10 minutes tops, and moved on. You did not have to go and talk about LeBron James coming to, may he rest in peace, the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant's memorial, because that really is irrelevant in this topic and conversation. The crazy thing is, I had a feeling that Stephen A. Smith was going to bring something like this up, and then you turned it and you went too far with it. That's the thing. You went too far with it. So, and lo and behold, it making both of our brothers look bad. Stephen A. Smith for going too far with it, and he should have brought up a topic he really should have just left alone. But when you flap your gums, sometimes when you get in that jet stream, that airwaves, you just want to just let it all air out, and he let out too much, and it cost him. And LeBron, so he made himself look bad, and here's LeBron making himself look bad. So we need brothers to look out for each other. Stop with this black on black, brown on brown crime, because that's what this is. I said it from day one. The reason why LeBron James did what he did, because Stephen A. Smith is successful and he's another brother. And here was LeBron James trying to bully another brother. I've seen this before. He could try to say it's about my son. No, it wasn't about your son. No, it was not about your son. Because if it was about your son, what about all those other guys that called it nepotism? What about them? They're the ones who kept throwing out that word. I've seen it myself, and I know LeBron James and his team saw it. No, it wasn't about Ronnie James. It was a way for you to bully another brother, to try to throw another brother down underneath the bus, to try to bring him down because he's successful. That's why LeBron James did what he did. When you get to that level of success that LeBron James has, everything is calculated. Nothing, very little is spontaneous. Very little. Everything he did was calculated. Why he went on Pat McAfee's show was calculated. Why he did it in front of the camera was calculated. Why he looked at the camera was calculated. It was all calculated. Nothing was spontaneous. He knew he was going to get him while he was on the court side and say what he said. He knew. He could have talked to him behind closed doors. He could have pulled him to the side. He didn't have to do it out in public. Bush League move on LeBron's side. And Stephen A. Smith, you need to let it go. Okay, you're both starting to seem petty now. You both need to just let it go. Just move on. And we heard both arguments. We know you both don't like each other. Just move on. Having said that, we're going to move on to Major League Baseball news. Definitely props to the Rays. They won game 1 in George Steinbrenner Field on a walk-off home run. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Great way to start the year. Great way to start being in that facility. Game sold out. And I was trying to cover not today's game. Well, actually, I was trying to cover today's game. But it would have been tough for me to be there the whole day. And tomorrow, I don't believe I'm going to be there tomorrow's game either, but we will see. We will see. It's not over till it's over. Maybe Saturday, but I definitely will be at the All-Pro Dad in Orlando supporting that event, me being an All-Pro Dad team captain. Kirk Cousins is going to be in the house. Definitely got to wake up early to get there for that. And also wanted to give props to the pro the Pro Rivals for, definitely their hospitality covering the Pro FTB. I also wanted to give props also to the Florida Sports, Hall of Fame for covering the Baseball Bourbon and Cigars event. You will see a lot more of that content for that event this coming up week. I have not forgot about you guys. I'm trying to get out the rest of the content for the Pro FTB, and then I will put the rest of the Baseball Bourbon and Cigars stuff up. So I definitely got a lot more to put up. Hey, I'd rather be slam busy than, crickets. So glory to God on that. Glory to you guys for your support. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate you tremendously. So that's the goal there. That's the goal. I'll keep you guys tuned on that. But let me just make sure that I got that covered there. Yeah, props to the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Have not forgotten about you guys. I'm putting most of the content out this week. And I know they have an event April, was it 21st? I'll be there. Props to the Pro FTB as well. You guys are fantastic. If you want some more details, the ProRivalsOpen.com. The ProRivalsOpen.com. Round of applause to you guys, all of you. Love you guys. Fantastic. So, one person who is also fantastic too, that is, make sure I show you guys here, the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Scola songs. All of the music you hear on the Allen Alford Sports Show is sung by that man right there. The intro song, the outro song, all of the sponsor songs, Sam Scola songs. That's right. And nice thing is, the tunes, they don't go away. All of these great songs you can hear. Thank you to songwriter Sam Scola Songs and his wife Mary. You can hear all these great songs right here, are available on YouTube and Spotify. Every single song, the intro, the outro, all of the sponsor songs, they're available right there on YouTube and Spotify. Guess what? We go even a step beyond here at the Allen Alford Sports Show. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. The reason why Sam Scola Songs email is up there is because we don't want you to spam him. We want you to go ahead and give him an offer. This could be a contract. This could be songs. It could be something of interest for him. No spam offers and deals. Thank you to Sam Scola Songs. In fact, that's his poster right there, Sam Scola Songs, doing big things right there out of Maine. I really tremendously appreciate Sam Scola Songs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And without further ado, we're going to play another great Sam Scola song that you may have heard earlier today. And that is going to be awesome because all of his music is fantastic. That is going to be to thank our great sponsor, one of our great sponsors here. Thank you, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you guys go ahead and visit Chef G's.
comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, so delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you don't forget, visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. If you can't come down to Tampa, it's all right. Visit them right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Don't forget that wonderful, beautiful, delicious, succulent sauce. It's fantastic. Don't forget it at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. What a real nice treat. So let me go ahead and check into the final score here. Let me go ahead and do that and bring this to you guys here. Try to get the final score. It was up there. Let me just see something here. Of course, you know, the Battlehawks probably won the game. First win of the season, 31-6. 31-6. The Battlehawks win the first game of the season. Yes, so 31-6. No surprise there. The Roughnecks got a rough go at it. I wish them the best, but they not like us. They not like us. They got some work cut out to them. That's the Roughnecks. Congratulations, Battlehawks. Tomorrow, 3:00 p.m. CST time. It is the season opener for the home opener. The home opener for the Arlington Renegades versus the San Antonio Brahmas. The Brahmas. They're going to go ahead and go at it. In order for the Renegades to win, they got to play a near perfect game and definitely got to stop the run. So we will let you guys see what happens, but definitely. And you guys are resilient too. Appreciate you tremendously. Let me just say here, thank you for watching another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. Really tremendously appreciate you. I'll be back again Friday night, same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you again. Appreciate Lou coming in. Appreciate you guys watching. You guys are awesome. So without further ado, we're going to sign off. End the show with the Sam Scola songs outro. Thank you. Be blessed. Be well. Take care for now.
the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. The Allen Air Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest.